So I think the amount of capital that can flow in is much larger than it was in 2021, which was much larger than it was in 2017, which was much larger than 13. So really it's the size of the capital inflows are proportional to the size of the opportunities. How they think about it is, well, where could Bitcoin end the year, 2026? And if you say 200,000, they say it's up 100%. Where could an altcoin go? It could be 10x.
Chuyên gia kinh tế vĩ mô và CEO của Real Vision, Raoul Pal, đã một lần nữa đưa ra những phân tích của mình về thị trường tiền mã hóa đang rơi vào giai đoạn khó khăn. Vậy, Raoul Pal đang nhìn nhận thị trường hiện tại như thế nào và liệu có những thay đổi nào trong quan điểm dự báo trước đây của ông hay không? Ngay bây giờ, hãy cùng nhau xem xét những phân tích cốt lõi mà ông đưa ra.
So when the ISM survey crosses 50 to the upside, which should happen considering we've got fiscal stimulus and monetary stimulus coming next year, and Trump wants to win the midterms, so they're going to throw everything at a strong economy. Scott Bessent says it all day, every day, we're going to have a really strong economy. So that's what they're pumping. So we'll see the ISM survey come up. The moment that happens, people get more income, more earnings, and people push out the risk curve. And it happens in small cap equities, and it happens in alts. So that's the start of alt season. We saw the beginning of it as dominance started to break down. It's still washing around a bit, but the next phase will be the plummeting of Bitcoin dominance as the kind of smart contract world starts taking prevalence.
Okay, so one counter to that thesis, though, is the fact that the market structure has changed with ETFs. And one of the biggest things right now is the elephant in the room is the AI trade, right? Now, my question is, would people want to now invest in altcoins down the crypto risk curve when the alternative is allocation to one of the fastest growing sectors in the space? You're incredibly bullish on AI.
Yeah.
Whereas if you'd invested in altcoins, 96% of the top 100 altcoins from the beginning of the year are down, right, below. AI trade, if you'd held NVIDIA, would have been up. So how can you be so sure that people would want to allocate to the most underperforming asset class in aggregate?
So a lot of the time we keep saying retail's not in the market, right? We're seeing no new money in crypto really outside of the ETF flows. When retail come in and they have a choice and they say, well, how they think about it is, well, where could Bitcoin end the year, 2026? And if you say 200,000, they say it's up 100%. Where could an altcoin go? It could be 10x. That's the risk curve that people look at all times. Is Google going to double next year? Highly unlikely. Will it go up 50%? Maybe. I mean, it's a gigantically big company already, $3 trillion. So does it get to 4 trillion, 5 trillion? Possible. But if you look at it, the kind of risk-adjusted returns going forwards, if crypto goes up, it will go up more. And it always has done. So AI has got the capital because don't forget, it's had all the investment at infrastructure level as well. It's been the focus of global governments here in the UAE, everywhere. Everybody's looking at AI. But when it comes to where you're going to make your returns, it's pretty simple. If my thesis is right, by Jan, Feb, there's a lot of people who are under-allocated to crypto still, who see it starting to outperform, and they start to panic back in. And we've seen a lot of people in the crypto space move to, buying options on, NVIDIA. Okay, fine, it's made people a lot of money. But again, most people are mercenary for returns, and if returns look like they're going to compound in crypto, they'll come back quickly.
Okay, then coming back to this market structure thing with all these products out there. Your point is that altcoins are a massive beta play on Bitcoin.
That's right.
Higher risk, higher reward. But there are lots of structured products now. You mentioned options. People can just go and trade options in Robinhood for NVIDIA and all these other AI plays.
Yeah.
And then also on the institutional side, we've got structured products for Bitcoin. JP Morgan just released a credit note that tracks the 4-year cycle. We've had a lot of options writing on IBIT. So do you not think that all these instruments out there in the traditional financial space now will take away from the need to invest in high-risk altcoins?
Again, I think generally people, if you think of the nihilistic nature of the reality of what young people face today, they can't buy a house. They can't get married. They can't have kids. They can't afford anything because the debasement of currency has meant that they can't afford it because their wages haven't gone up. So their propensity to speculate is much higher than anybody else. So when it comes to it, they're still more likely to speculate in crypto in the end. But the hard part is, it's easy to wave your hand and say, altcoin season, because everybody assumes that all of the shitcoins that you own are going to go up in value. but they're not. It's actually a hard game. You know, where do you go in the actual risk curve? What thesis do you build? What do you buy? You know, do you look for things with cash flows? You know, is it something like Aave, or is it one of the emerging layer ones, or is it another application layer? It's not an easy game. Even though people think it's going to bail them out and they're going to make a fortune, the probability out of the 1 million coins out there to get the right ones is pretty low.
Yeah, we'll get into the micro of finding the particular alts that could perform. But just on one more counter to the thesis of altcoin season is the concept of dilution. Yeah. So we've had massive unlocks. We've had many projects come to the market. I can't count how many L1s and L2s we've got now. So the question then is, if you have capital in 2021 come into altcoin season, you had mass fiscal stimulus, mass monetary stimulus, QE, and now you've got much more altcoins out there as well in terms of, and also dilution in terms of coins out there. Can we expect to see anything like 2021, or is it just going to be isolated narrative rotation for a few?
No, I think we'll see something more persistent, but it will be difficult to choose what the right ones are. But I think we'll see it because the amount of attention on the crypto economy at large is much larger than it was, because the institutions are at play, it's covered in mainstream media now, it's kind of everywhere and pervasive. So I think the amount of capital that can flow in is much larger than it was in 2021, which was much larger than it was in 2017, which was much larger than 2013. So really it's the size of the capital inflows are proportional to the size of the opportunities, and that offsets so much of the issuance going on, and the unlocks, all of that gets dwarfed by the amount of capital that ends up coming into the space. And so, again, I think there's going to be a bifurcation of what's a quality project and what's not. But generally speaking, I don't see any reason why altcoin season won't work.
Raoul Pal giải thích khả năng xuất hiện của Altcoin season trong tương lai dưới góc độ các chỉ báo vĩ mô và dòng chảy vốn. Theo lập luận của ông, tín hiệu khởi đầu quan trọng nhất của Altcoin season là thời điểm chỉ số ISM ngành sản xuất vượt lên trên mốc 50. Việc chỉ số ISM vượt mốc 50 cho thấy ngành sản xuất đã bước vào giai đoạn mở rộng, từ đó cải thiện lợi nhuận doanh nghiệp và thu nhập hộ gia đình, đồng thời tạo ra môi trường làm gia tăng khẩu vị rủi ro của nhà đầu tư. Ông nhấn mạnh rằng, trong thời gian tới, khả năng cao các chính sách kích thích tài khóa và tiền tệ sẽ được triển khai song song, đặc biệt khi xét đến bối cảnh chính trị trước thềm các cuộc bầu cử giữa kỳ. Ông cho rằng có đủ động lực để các chính sách kích thích kinh tế mạnh mẽ được thúc đẩy. Khi kịch bản này diễn ra, dòng vốn sẽ di chuyển dọc theo đường cong rủi ro, hướng tới các cổ phiếu vốn hóa nhỏ và thị trường tiền mã hóa. Theo đó, dòng chảy này có thể lan tỏa một cách tự nhiên sang thị trường altcoin. Trong bối cảnh đó, Raoul Pal phân tích rằng năm 2026 sẽ hình thành một môi trường đầu tư nhìn chung thuận lợi hơn so với năm 2025. Ông cho rằng khả năng cao là hiệu suất tốt hơn sẽ xuất hiện trên toàn bộ các thị trường tài sản.
The hardest thing that will probably happen in 2026 is altcoin season. And you'll see endless posts on X that I've made a 20x in a month, and you'll be chasing everybody else's returns. Most of those people don't make it. Through my entire career, and I've been in the investing industry for 35 years, almost nobody can make a job as a short-term trader. Almost nobody. And so you've got to realize that. So therefore, don't get caught up in the FOMO narrative. That's the killer. It kills retail investors every time. But if they just held Bitcoin or ETH or Solana, whatever, or a basket of them, and did nothing, they would outperform 99.9% of shorter-term traders. So the don't fuck this up really is hold high-quality assets, don't FOMO into stuff. If you want to have a degen bag, keep it to 5 or 10% of your holdings so you can have fun in the market and feel like you're active, because you're actually not doing anything with your main holdings. Don't use leverage. October showed us yet again that leverage looks so delightful and so alluring, and leverage on a 80-volt asset is a ticket to bankruptcy.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we don't fuck it up on our way to that banana zone next year.
That's right. So I think 26 is the year of the yellow fruit.
The yellow fruit, we're looking forward to that.
Okay.
Nếu bạn thấy video hôm nay hữu ích, đừng quên đăng ký kênh và nhấn thích nhé. Xin cảm ơn.